Hey everybody, and welcome back for episode 8 of the Terraria 1.3 Let's Play. It's good to be back, it's good to get right back in before I lose some momentum, because right now we're sitting on top of, well, possibly a literal gold mine, but I'm sure figuratively one. It's worth of ore. We've got all kinds of things we need to find. And so last time, if you remember, we went on a nice little journey, and we left this, a life crystal, just sitting here all alone in the frozen ocean. And I can't tolerate that kind of behavior. I also noticed, while I was just sort of perusing the map, that, somewhere over here, this looks like possibly another one? I don't know, I can't quite make out what that figure is. It looks kind of reddish, so we've got to go back in, and we've got to do a bit more investigation into that portion of the map. And also, just so you can see for your own reference, rearranged everything, sorted out my inventory, and I've come up with what I think to be the most efficient group of mobility accessories here for myself. I might look a little bit goofy. I'm leaving the Viking helmet on for the moment, and I've got all of my tracking and GPS-style stuff here in my inventory. Granted, they're not giving me these bonuses like that fantastic 4% damage, but, at least I have them for the actual functional effects that they bestow upon us. So let us head back over in the direction of the caves and the spelunking and all of the dark hidey holes that we choose to look in. And I'm gonna hope that after this episode, we may be very close to, hopefully reaching the point where we can fight some bosses. In fact, I mean, if we really want to go out on a limb and give it a shot, it might not be impossible to think of maybe this episode even. But I don't want to risk it yet. I want to actually have a little bit more of a foothold. Also, I changed my hook. As you can see, I went for a topaz one instead. I believe people said it's slightly a longer hook. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I'm going with it anyway. And this is actually our inn already, although, keeping in mind, we can always come back later and go visit over here as well. Oh, right, the action doesn't stop when I look in there. Gotta keep that in mind. Anyway, so let's go down into the crevasse and hopefully not get mobbed by zombies. I have a much lower chance of taking fall damage now that I've actually got some means of double jump. As you can see, I have regular jump, then second jump, which is like that blizzard in a bottle, and third jump, which is the little thump at the end that pushes me up over things. And I think those things together with the ability to swim are going to do fantastic things for my movement abilities and allow me to reach places that I didn't even know I wanted to go to earlier. There's actually a little bit of ore under there. I guess I may as well. Now that I've got a better pick, things are just going to kind of fall into place, most likely. And it's iron ore, which is a good ore to have. So, yeah, I don't really need too much more for the moment. As far as, like, armor goes or anything. Like, I think I've got the basic groundwork. I just want to get a lot more HP going on. And that's just going to make things a lot less stressful if I'm delving into uncertain areas and situations, as well as fighting bosses and encountering stuff that is definitely going to hurt me very quickly. This isn't it already, is it? Oh, well, there's a little bit of tungsten here, which I may as well grab. Gotta be ever vigilant, every little bit counts while you're early on. Even though I said I probably don't need any more armor. Still, there's other practical applications for certain ores. So, I don't want to leave too many behind. Alright, so how deep does this rabbit hole go? We gotta go all the way to the ice zone first, before we get to where the heart is going to be. Alright, well, I guess I'll just eat my words on that whole not really taking fall damage thing. Whatever. It's bound to happen every now and then. Well, until I get the ability to completely negate it, which hopefully is coming fairly soon. I don't know what's in here, but it seems like a place where stuff could be, so I wanna check it out. I don't know what exactly is tipping me off to it's a place where stuff could be, other than I see that there is light hitting it. I guess that's as picky as I really need to get, huh? Also, there looks to be a little hole through the back here. Maybe. It's funny, I was reading the comments, it seems there's some conflicting reports about that sword that I found that I'm using right now. People saying that it's very rare, some people saying that it's not that rare, some people saying that it's easy to spot the biome, others saying that you'll almost never spot the biome. I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things. Seems to be with mostly every video game I play. People have absolutely contrarian, observations regarding them. Some things are just the easiest thing in the world, and you're an idiot if you don't understand them, and other things, you know, it goes too far in the other direction as well. People are overly accommodating. Some things are like, you know, it's too wishy-washy, it doesn't make any sense, and nothing makes sense, we're all gonna die, we're all fatalist. Well, that's kind of the Northern Lion approach anyway, that's where he tends to take things. I know he's not actually a nihilist, but that argument, man, there's not much of a counter to it. I've thought about it a lot. The only counter is like, I don't want to think like that, because it's depressing. And I think that's actually the way that you counter it for real. I'm not like super studied in philosophy or anything, but I've spent a lot of hours looking into, you know, various arguments to do with, well, theology, philosophy, ethics, things like that. And so I do at least have some sort of basis for argument when it comes to that, and I took quite a long time to get acclimated to the idea of understanding how argumentation works. Not saying I'm an expert at it, but when it comes to spotting logical fallacies, that's something that I'm kind of happy and proud of myself. Well, just to be in tune with the idea of critical thinking and rationality is very important to me. So, again, not sure I'm 100% the best at it, but, you know, I do at least care about that, and that feels like the start of any one thing, right? If you're going to be terrible at something and you care about it, that at least says that you're willing to work your way out of that hole, which, you know, I guess just by virtue of being put up against somebody who doesn't care about it, well, obviously you're going to set yourself a bit different from them just by that one thing. Anyway, I don't know where we're going with this, so let's just dig right into this pile of gold up here, and then we'll go investigate this treasure chest below and see if maybe we can get another sweet accessory out of the whole thing. So, future Terraria wants and needs. People have already started talking about, will I make a elevator? Yeah, of course I'm going to make a elevator. I've got to get down there somehow, right? The other option is I set up teleport pads and do it the long way like that. I'll probably do that eventually, too. I did that in the last Let's Play. It worked out fine. Just took a lot of time to set up all those wires and such, so... provided they haven't made that any easier in some way. Hey, there's those Hermes boots I was talking about before, but we have the Flurry boots right now, so I don't know. They're both really good. Yeah, so I'll get all that stuff done eventually. It's not really a pressing matter right now. If I'm looking at the structure of how I'm doing compared to, like, my last Let's Play, which is a bad idea, because honestly, what is the difference, really, or why bother doing that? But, if I did do that, I would say that I've still got, like, roughly 20-ish episodes, if not a little bit more, before I need to start worrying about getting to hard mode. I have a pretty strong feeling it's not going to take me quite that many episodes to get to hard mode. Probably each of those bosses are going to be fairly quick, as long as I don't get totally trounced. And I kind of doubt I'm going to. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to have some troubles with things on occasion. I'm absolutely certain that I'm going to have troubles with a lot of things actually getting further on into it. But the early bosses, you know, we're in normal mode. This is an expert mode. I think we'll be able to handle it. Just a little bit of preparation goes a long way. And I do at least have experience on my side. I've fought all these bosses before. It's just the stuff that I haven't seen that I'm kind of curious how that's going to go. I just realized I've gone off in this totally tangential direction as far as shaping of my mines here, and I actually really wanted to go hit that heart piece that I know exists. So before I get too much deeper here, I mean, I'm excited and I want to keep going in this direction, but I really need to go see what's up with that heart first before we go too much further here. Oh man, of course it's going to be this awesome, expansive cave full of emeralds in the ground. There's so many emeralds right there. Somebody said this too in the comments, like, Nick really seems excited. 51-minute episode last time. Absolutely I'm excited. I couldn't hardly pull myself away from it. You know what? As I'm looking at the clock ticking up, the only thing that I'm thinking about as far as why I need to stop is mostly just like, am I going to have enough time to render and upload this so that way it doesn't make everybody upset that it took too long? That's like a lot of what the consideration is for that. Rendering takes a while, and uploading takes a while, so, you know, I do have to keep the episodes to a certain length just for that. And, you know, sometimes I just don't care, and that's when 51-minute episodes happen, or when I'm in sort of a groove, and I don't want to just leave in the middle of a bunch of stuff that I'm working on because it just feels, you know, incomplete. And I do definitely prioritize that sort of thing when I'm making these episodes. Hopefully you guys like that as well. I'd have a hard time believing you don't if you're enjoying watching this, that you wouldn't just want to see a longer episode, but anyway, not like we're really negotiating that right now. I'm just sort of giving you some information about why that happens on occasion. And I've been in this habit, and this was another thing people mentioned, what's his backlog like right now. At the moment, I've gone almost every day, I've had no backlog. 1 or 2 days, I've had like 2 days of backlog. But, you know, I haven't really been able to keep up just because I've had so much other stuff going on. We've been recording freaking Rocket League like it's become the hottest thing of this generation. And we did like 5 videos of it tonight, and we did a bunch last night, and I think we did a few even the night before that. The Rocket League thing, man, it's hot right now. So, I'm enjoying playing it, by the way. I'm not saying I'm not. I did mention that in an earlier Terraria episode as well, and I'm still betraying what I said earlier, which is I'm gonna go back for that freaking heart piece. It's just so hard to stop exploring, man. Oh, there's another one right there. Okay, well, mission accomplished. We're at least gonna go grab that one right now, and then we'll go get the other one in a second. Do we have any bats or anybody down there to get us? Looks like it's mostly clear, actually. I'm not gonna say I have like the most addictive personality, but I have noticed on occasion I can fall into some patterns like that, and it's mostly just video games that really bring that out in me. I've never had really issues with anything, you know, on the really dangerous side of anything like that. But Terraria and games like this that just you can get really lost in and immersed in, yeah, it's hard for me to put them down sometimes. MMOs as well, I've had a lot of addiction with MMOs, but I was able to kick all of those addictions, you know, without too much worry about my safety. I guess you could say, in a way, doing YouTube is a bit of an addiction, too. And maybe a dangerous one as well, since it has me sitting down so freaking much. But anyway, we're just piling up a bit of silt, because this is great for the extractinator. I want to definitely throw as much in there as possible, because this stuff actually has the chance to pay out with ore that I can't even get in this world. And that's really great, because that means that I might end up getting a piece of armor or some kind of you know, special trinket that I may not have had access to without building another world, and I probably will eventually do that. I know the late game of this involves getting tools that make your abilities to kind of just churn through mass amounts of soil. It just makes it trivial. So when we get to that point, it's going to be really fun to make new worlds and just destroy them. Just absolutely go nuts and break them all down to the finest little bits and pieces. And we'll be able to feed our loot addiction quite readily at that point, I would say. Got a little bit of gold in here as well. Thank you for your feedback, everybody, also for what you thought about the fishing episode and how we're going to do all that. It's one of those things that probably is best done early-ish on, but I also have to just be in the right mood for it, so yeah, I'm not going to promise that it's going to happen, but if it does, it does, and I will do my best. Honestly, I guess I'm not really super looking forward to doing fishing, just because I know it's gonna basically be distilled down to talk to the quest giver for a second, get a quest, go click on a bobber, and then sit in one place and churn through bait, and then, you know, grind for the bait, or farm rather. You know, I think you know what it is. Alright, let's toss this up here. But I do want to show it for the sake of documenting it, of course, because that is sort of one of my priorities in terms of this series in general. I do want to do mostly all the things that there are to do. Granted, I'm not going to probably do everything that there is to do, but I will at least try and get every item again. Also, I'm really, like, forgetting pretty seriously about the double jump and all that. I've got to get that through my head, but that'll happen in a short amount of time. And then once I get, you know, flight ability, some proper wings, this stuff is going to be second nature yet again. It's weird how much you can get, like, deacclimated from a game you've played for hundreds of hours. I shudder to think what's going to happen if I ever go back to speedrunning Super Meat Boy, which is something that I would like to actually do eventually. I really enjoyed doing that. It was so sad when Windows stopped me from being able to do it. If you're not familiar, I did any % runs, which is beat the game as fast as you can using, you know, any method that you can that isn't just straight up cheating. So, like, you can do skips where you kind of go out of level bounds if you know how to do it. Just basically things that are built into the game that are sort of exploitive. And, so I got my best run was ever, like, I think it was 21 minutes and, I don't remember. So 21 minutes and some odd seconds. You can always just watch the video if you're interested in seeing me do that run. But yeah, so I could finish Meat Boy in that amount of time, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the kind of muscle memory element that goes with learning how to beat a game that's that difficult that quickly. Because it's surprisingly formulaic after a while. Not to say that it's easy, but your hands sort of just learn what to do. You know what? I'm actually going to approach this from the other side. Just I really don't want to flood that little cabin there for some reason. Not sure why that's so important to me, but it is, so embrace it, I guess. But yeah, what happened was eventually I had to upgrade to a new OS, not of my own choosing, but because there was an issue with my hard drive, and it just, like, stopped being able to understand Windows 7 at all. So I had to get Windows 8. I did. I was kind of upset about the whole thing, because I didn't want Windows 8 at all. I really wasn't a fan of it. From what I'd heard, it's apparently not very good. And what do we have in here? More spike shoes. Alright, well, whatever. Let's grab it all. So yeah, I ended up getting Windows 8, and it allowed my computer to function again, and I was pretty happy about that at least. But then I noticed it was having this very unfortunate interaction with streaming, Super Meat Boy in particular, which, granted, the engine of Super Meat Boy it's weird. It's very, very inconsistent in a lot of ways. And it's not the best coded, and I'm not trying to fire shots at Tommy. It's a fantastic game, in fact, one of my favorite games of all time. So I don't mean anything by it, it's just like, as far as hardware compatibility, it's had issues on occasion, and so much so in this case that the game was just not playable. There was actually issues where the character would fall through floors and platforms, because basically what it is the frame rate and the collision boxes, meaning the things that hold the character into the game world, or, you know, from hitting each other, are dependent on the frame rate being consistently at whatever the consistent frame rate it asked for is, and in this case it's 60. So what would happen is it would dip for 1/160th of a second, and I would drop frames, and whenever that happens, all my hitboxes would disappear, and Meat Boy would be able to just fall through the floor. And there was a couple of levels that actually, those were made impossible to beat, or very, very difficult, beyond the scope of what you're meant to do in the game. Because the character would simply no longer be able to collide with things. So that was very depressing, you know, granted that I've put hundreds of hours into that game. Oh, sweet, there's another one right here. Alright, we're doing good here. We've got all the things we need in this fantastic ice biome. So I tried pretty much everything I could think of, and yes, I did actually try some troubleshooting stuff. I had friends that, or have friends that are, you know, involved in various elements of IT and gave me some suggestions, and I tried a bunch of stuff like that. Never found anything that would work consistently. In fact, I don't think I found anything that would even work inconsistently. It was just sort of just straight up broken one day. And I'm not really sure I could pinpoint what exactly changed other than the OS, because I think there was actually a short amount of time when I could still play it before it totally went off the rails. But, you know, I'd like to get back to that someday, and maybe when Windows 10 comes out, if that's possible, I can go back and try it again, and maybe it'll work. I don't know. Stranger things have happened, right? I mean, it was so inconsistent in one direction, why couldn't it be inconsistent back in the working direction again, right? I don't know. Anyway, I hope that does happen, and I hope we get to play more Meat Boy in the future. You know, I got to actually try Super Meat Boy Forever, the new Meat Boy that's in the works right now. And it was not super interesting to me, I'm sad to say. It was not nearly the same type of game. It's an endless procedurally generated, well, not endless actually, it's level structured, but it's randomly generated or procedurally generated as far as, like, it's a runner. So, like, if you ever played Bit Trip Runner, it just involves quick reaction times, and the screen is always scrolling. You're never able to stop moving, which is a thing that, like, obviously is a vast departure from the way Super Meat Boy worked. And it was all about very precise controls and about strategically planning your moves. Where in this game, it's kind of about getting away from panicked moments where you're not sure if you're going to be able to live. And you're dying consistently, but not for the reasons that you did in regular Super Meat Boy, which was essentially like you didn't parse how to understand what your hands needed to do, so you would just kind of work away at the same formula until eventually it all worked out and made sense, and then you could beat it consistently after that. In this one, every level is randomly generated, or you know, created out of a set of templates, sort of like the levels in Isaac, I suppose. And in that particular case, there's not really a guarantee that you could play it 100 million times and be able to beat it every single time ever, which I find is not my favorite thing. That being said, I'm sure I'm going to still play it more, but I just don't see it having the same lifespan and, like, potential for me. Super Meat Boy being probably my favorite platformer of all time, and the only other thing that falls somewhat close to it is Super Metroid, but that's not really because it's a platformer. In fact, the controls of Super Metroid are somewhat awkward at times, whereas Super Meat Boy has some of the best controls I've ever used, or ever had the pleasure of being able to control, I guess. What's over here? Got a little pot down there in the water, alright. Night Owl Potion. Apparently I've been taking a lot of recall potions. Somebody noticed that in a comment. Like, I'll just throw those out if I have too many. Once I start sorting through my chest and realizing I have too many, then I'll just take care of that at that point. As far as prioritizing them in my inventory, I probably just didn't realize that's what potions they were, if that's what I was doing. I'm not sure what spurned on the comment, to be honest, because I didn't actually notice that I had a lot of them. But I know they do show up pretty regularly, so that's probably what it was. And I don't need them at all since I have a magic mirror. And my goal, of course, is to build a cell phone, which I went and looked on the Wikipedia for Terraria, and it looks like it's going to take 100,000 years to get all the stuff for that. And I'm kind of into it. It seems silly, but I kind of like the idea of having to go on this freaking gigantic, world-spanning, you know, mega quest to come up with these silly items that I'm going to build together to be able to give me, like, all the data about a world. And all in one simple and accessible inventory slot. What more could you ask for? It's pretty much perfect. So, yeah, that's going to be one of the long-term goals, of course. As I said, I'm going to try to build and make all of the items, so that would be high up on that list, of course. What is up here? Is there anything cool? I haven't really explored this area much. I just kind of like glanced at it, moved on. And I'm heading in the direction of hopefully finding that heart piece. Oh, it's like one more tier right below me, so I'll get to that in just a sec. Is there anything up here we're seeing? It looks like there's like a crack through here. Yeah, that's PC gaming for you, though. I mean, I've never had that many compatibility issues that I've ever been like, man, I'm swearing off this whole thing. In general, PC gaming is the way that I choose to go and prefer to go, and I've always been involved in, like, the PC community, although when I was a kid, I was more in the Mac community because that's what my family had at the time, and, you know, I didn't have an option there. But once I had the option, I had the ability to buy my own, I got a PC, and I put a nice graphics card in it, and I played a lot of Quake games and build levels for stuff. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's always been my thing. I've always been super into that, and it's frustrating sometimes when you just want to play a game you love and you can't because of stuff that you can't really control. I mean, maybe there's a way I can control it, but I'm not aware of what that way is, at least presently. And I don't want to go down the list. I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to tell me you needed to do X, Y, and Z. You know, I looked at all the forums, we talked about it all. There were a lot of things that I tried that were very unorthodox solutions, and ultimately they did not prevail. But, again, not to say that it's a complete lost cause, it's just not something that we're probably going to realize I just never did. I never, you know, restarted Steam. It's not going to be that. Clearly not going to be that. Oh, okay, there's the pressure plate. There's like a bunch of ore right below me. It's iron, okay. Couldn't see, so I couldn't tell if that was iron or gold. I think I saw the tin to the right, and I assumed it was probably gold because colors. And it's probably not the best assumption to make, but I may as well grab this iron while we're here. And if possible, it would be nice to make a little air pocket for myself, but, you know, no biggie. I'm sure we'll make it out just fine. They're pretty generous as far as the whole health thing goes, or air meter goes. I kind of want to go down there and look around now that I can swim, but, you know, why push my luck, right? Ah, you can't catch me. I'm slightly faster than you. Oh, well, that's not going to work at all. There's a gap. Oh, can I get off? Thank you. Alright. I probably slid right past some cool stuff while I was on this sucker, because that's the thing that you do. When you're riding one of those minecarts, you're obviously just going to ride on. You're not going to really be stopping and looking at everything, but, you know, then again, now that I am stopping and looking at everything, I don't think I did miss much. Fair enough. Why don't we try that again? Yeah, there we go. I'm sure there's something under here. Well, I see a bunch of iron ore. Oh yeah, there was some tungsten at the edge of that. I'm sure we'll run into a Medusa again in here. Never super thrilled to see one of those. What's that? Oh, that was iron ore sitting by itself for some reason. And there's the Medusa that I mentioned. I really, really rather not engage yet. Let's take a quick look down. Oh, this is that ice that can very easily screw me over. If I step too hard on it, that's what happens. And you'll still take the fall damage at the bottom of it. Oh, okay. We're about to get involved in a boss fight fairly soon. Apparently, I've gotten enough heart pieces now. And thank goodness there was some water at the bottom of that. What do I do? Do I go back out, or do I finish what I'm doing here? Because I am not ready right now. I think I need to go out. It might just spawn, like, right now. I think that's how that works. Alright, let's just go. Can we tell what time it is? Does not look like it. Maybe I'll get just a second or two that I can drop off some of my ore here. I don't know why I really need to, but... Or potions, whatever. You know, just get some stuff out of my inventory. Drop a couple accessories off over here. Get one of those, get one of those. Statues, some granite. Alright, there's a lot of stuff. I have a lot of sorting to do in the long term. I mentioned that I have a document that I'm working on in the last episode to sort of make some level of continuity in the way that I set up my chests and my archival situation. I haven't finished sorting through that, but somebody asked if they could see it. You know, I don't mind showing you that. I just need to finish it first. Don't know when that'll be, but I don't mind either way. Also, I gotta figure out what to do with that golden bunny. I wonder a lot, actually, if I can just take that golden bunny and show him to the guide up here and see if he has anything to say about the whole thing. I mean, I guess no, but just in case. I don't know if you can craft bunnies in this game. Oh, okay, I can put him in a gold bunny cage with a terrarium. Got it. That makes perfect sense and is not particularly surprising. I also found a zebra swallowtail butterfly that was just kind of chilling outside the house at one point. Figured it wouldn't be the most controversial thing in the world if I just grabbed it. Oh, you know what I should do real quick? Why am I clicking on that wood like it's gonna help? I want to grab that. And we'll just make a quick little boss area to fight this dude on. Not super necessary, but at least I'll have like a flat bit of ground here, provided it works out okay. I'll just kind of get rid of this afterwards. It probably won't be necessary for super long. Okay, so this is probably when I realize, in actuality, I think maybe that means he's coming the next night. So maybe I would have been fine. Oh, never mind. That's the end of that story. And I just drank a potion for some reason, because I'm dumb. Alright, well, let's hope this works out okay, guys. It is time to fight a boss. I didn't expect to do that now, but that's the time that it is. That's okay. So we're going to use a projectile on this sword and see if that does much of any damage. Does not look like it's doing a particularly large amount, but the eye is also looking rather passive right now, too. I probably should have gone ahead and grabbed some potions that might be useful for this fight. Let's actually try this boomerang out real quick just to see if this does a bit more damage. Well, the range on it is not the best. Yeah, that's not great at all. Can I maybe sneak in and grab some more weapons? Maybe make some sticky bombs could be useful. Sticky dynamite. I'm betting it won't stick to the eye, but let's just test it real quick. Just in case it does, because that could be kind of fun. Oh, well, I missed, so that one certainly won't, and it's also going to blow up part of my bridge. Oh my god, really? Twice? Alright, well, I guess I'm just kind of a jerk and kind of messed that whole thing up entirely. Can I get a few, just like, hits in? Just kind of beat him up with my sword for a sec? Oh, right. That's really a bad way to go about this whole thing. I might just stop inside my house for a moment in a sec. I mean, the urgency of this battle is not feeling incredibly immense right now. One thing, though, that is kind of a bit of urgency is just that I do have to worry about it becoming daylight out, otherwise I'm wasting my time. I definitely want to make sure, if I'm going to hit him, I'm going to hit him right, and I'm going to finish this off as quickly as possible. And at least we can sort of monitor the progress of the moon in the background, so there's that. I don't know why I'm acting like this is such a big, momentous event. I guess sort of building in the drama again, but I'm not really doing it intentionally. Just sort of like the fear of the unknown, not really knowing how things have changed in a while. I'm a little worried about what he's going to do when he gets to phase 2, like if I'm going to be able to get in there and really do some damage. My armor's pretty good, though. Like, I can actually just tank a few hits by him. It's not going to be all that detrimental. Just kind of hop around, do a little bit of tossing of swords. Good thing I have this double jump, though. That really does make all of the difference. I love how the game just eventually forces, like, you know, you took quite a while with this whole thing. Let's just do the boss fight now. You've really just been kind of hanging out. And we've got to get a move on with this game, because, you know, evil, ancient evil, time to do all that Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. You know how it is. Oh yeah, just kind of like stand. If you could just like pivot so you're just kind of standing right on top of me, that would be great. Except with the not on the directly on top of me part. Just like stand near a little bit. Oh, that's sweet. We need that to happen more. Get him to follow right in line with that boomerang. And we will be golden. Yeah, not like that as much. I forgot if I mentioned in the last episode, somebody told me to try yo-yos out. I'll totally try yo-yos out at some point. Just not doing that today. I'm sure there's plenty of opportunities for me to yo my yo. Okay, so that does definitely do more damage, but I'm not going to get the opportunity to, well, get that same little sweet combo thing that I had going on. Alright, he's almost certainly going down, because, yeah, 80, 54, 29, and GG. VVGG, there you go. Eye of Cthulhu has been defeated. Surprisingly, I guess. I don't know. It's over. And now I can get rid of this little bit of bridge that was bothering me, or wooden platform. And pick up that delicious Crimtane ore. He's not really supposed to drop all that much, being that we're not in expert mode. So, in case you were wondering, you know, we weren't missing out, really. Now we've just got this, and we can go ahead and use that to make tools that will allow us to explore in the Crimson properly. And let's go ahead and pop some of that together and make a few bricks. There you go. So it's just going to be enough for, well, there's a yo-yo, actually, and there's the Blood Butcherer, which is not really at all better than the one I have right now, but it's only 10 bricks. Which is, you know, notable just mostly because that's one of the things you need to make for the sword later on, the big combination sword that's a group of them. Flesh Catcher, I would like, you know, a better fishing pole. I don't think I have any fishing pole yet. So that's certainly an option. That's only 8. Yeah, what the hey. We got a Flesh Catcher, isn't that great? And let's make some gold bricks as well. What do you think I should craft with these remaining 16 Crimtane bricks? Should I make a Bloodlust Cluster? Should I make a Tendon Bow? Should I make a Blood Butcherer or an Artery? I can make all of these things. And more, potentially, in the future. As well as all this golden stuff. I don't actually know what is the best option here to go with. But I'd be perfectly content to spend another episode wandering about in the catacombs that I just was. Because there's still probably a whole bunch of stuff there we haven't found. And it seemed like we were opening up new areas that were leading to other new areas pretty regularly. This is where we left off, and as you can see, well, there's some iron right there. We've got something over here in the corner. There's something over here we haven't quite figured out. And, of course, we were headed up in this direction to see if that was yet another heart piece. It looks red, but I can't tell if it's the right kind of red or if it's some other icon. Oh. I thought it was day for some reason. I was like, why are there stars falling in the middle of the day? Anyway, that was reasonably productive and unexpected, and I hope that was an exciting little moment for us to have together. That's going to be it for today's episode, though. Sorry I'm keeping it a little bit shorter than last time. Got some stuff going on, so I do need to get through this one and get on to the next, if you know what I mean. So we'll be back next time. I want to hear your suggestions anyway, what you think would be the best next move for me. I have ideas about what my best next move would be, but I want to see if those two things line up. But of course, thank you, of course, for watching and being here and for the support. And if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you leave a like, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.